The Football Postcast in association with Paddy Power, the place to bet on football in play with a huge special every weekend.
Hello there, a warm welcome to the Racing Post Football Postcast. I'm Bruce Millington, and joining me in the studio are James Milton, Ian Wilkerson, and over in Ireland we've got Sean. He's got a proper nickname, the Enigma O'Sullivan from Paddy Power. He's got all the odds, all the tips, and hopefully all the good first scorers, because that is his speciality. We've got 5 Premier League games for you to cover. We'll look down into the lower divisions to see where the best bets are, and we'll also maybe hopefully uncover a winner or two in tonight's Europa League action. We will start though with the 6 questions. The lads get 2 apiece and then get to choose the one they wish they were asked that they weren't. So we'll start with you, James Milton. Could they have made the FA Cup third round draw any harder for the poor sods who've got to choose the live matches? Oh, it was almost uncanny how they managed to pick out the least glamorous set of ties.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there must have been a few suspicions over the last few seasons, because there have been some really juicy ones, haven't there? So obviously, you know, there are a few rumours that about hot balls, as it were, but yeah, it looks a tired old set of fixture. Actually, the only one I can remember is Arsenal's, who I think we Preston away.
Preston away.
That'd be on.
Well, I mean, funny enough, because you know Man United famously have been on every single one since 2005. Every single game.
52, I think it is.
54 now, I think.
Really?
But to be fair, they're one against Reading now. You almost think, well, there's nothing else to it.
It's got a bit of a story, hasn't it? Yapstam doing very well at Reading, but
there's one Palace fan on Twitter who said, what are the chances of us being on live away to Bolton? I don't want to shell out 33 quid for the train in case we're on.
I don't think that's going to be an issue,
Are you off your
really.
rocker? But then actually I looked around and I thought, well, you never know now.
That could be on pay-per-view.
I don't know.
Judging by the rest of the
I don't think so. Have we got a show of betting on the FA Cup, Sean?
Yeah, Chelsea shortened in. They're into 5-1. Liverpool 5-1, kind of cup specialists at the moment, and then Arsenal make it a treat up there. They're 5-1 as well. United 6-1 after a pretty favourable draw, and City were the drifters. They're out to 7-1. Spurs 8-1 and 20-1 Bardos.
To put a betting bent on the question, James, have you got an early fancy? If I gave you a free fiver, who would you slip it on?
I would probably have it on Liverpool. Actually, it's not particularly exciting odds, but you know, I think they just look the kind of side who go well in cups and score tons of goals.
Righto, Wilco, one strong, hard-hitting opinion from the final round of group matches in the Champions League, if you would.
I think the hard-hitting opinion is that it's very difficult to pick a win, and not many of the.
That's not hard-hitting. No, that's soft-hitting.
Well,
come on.
I'm finding it very difficult to support any of the teams at the top of the market. I think I'll tell you, Manchester City are not going to win the European Cup.
Okay, fair enough.
I can't. A team that cannot beat Celtic at home, the lad who on loan, Roberts, who waltzed through their defence, scored a goal like that. What a really good team's going to do to them. I can't see them progressing. I'd go so far as to say they won't be in the competition at the quarter-final stage.
Okay, good. That is hard-hitting.
Is that right?
Yeah, you've redeemed yourself there, and you get an extra point for calling it the European Cup. I'm always pleased with. Sean, best bet for tonight's Europa League games, please.
Oh, yucky. Yeah, there's like.
Oh, what?
It's just yucky. Like, I mean, it's
I
a horrible
thought that was
set of
a first scorer that you fancied.
Yeah, he's a perfect lad for Anderlecht. No, the squads are so up in the air with so many teams. It's hard to know. I mean, United brought a strong team. They'll probably win, but hard to get stung at 4-11. I mean, there's loads of games you're looking at there going, wow, that looks a big price. Nice at 17-10 at home to Krasnodar, but it just doesn't matter. So the price isn't worth backing. I know I'm not doing much here now.
No, you're not. Come on, give us a bloody winner. Stop snivelling about how hard it is.
Yeah, sure. Will I tip up Dundalk just for the sake of the Irishness? This is pretty brutal, isn't it? No, I'll go Roma 13-10 away to Astragur. He's brought an okay squad. I mean, they should get the job done, but again, you could rest a few players. I wouldn't go too deep into it.
Roma, okay.
Roma 13-10.
Confidence.
We got there in the end. Yeah.
A lot of confidence left.
Yeah, I did. Right then, James, my player of the season so far in Premier League terms is Victor Moses. He's been a very surprise package. I think he's been great. Who, if you were awarding Man of the Season here on December the 8th or whatever it is, would you give the trophy to?
From a playing perspective,
yeah.
I'm very biased. I'm going to go for Alexis Sanchez. I think just the sheer joy and energy that he plays his football with is fantastic. And you know, you see those players who kind of buzz around are obviously brilliant athletes, but then you see the technique for his third goal.
It
at
was
West
ridiculous,
Ham.
wasn't it?
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, to do that at high speed is phenomenal. And I'd just like to put a word in for Tony Pulis, actually, as man of the season so far.
Yeah, I can have that.
I thought,
Apart from
remember,
the fact he screwed Palace for that money in his dispute with
off the field issues
Steve
aside.
Parish.
Outrageously overlooked by Time Magazine's Man of the Year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. I'm
Yeah,
sure
he's
it was
been-
him or Donald Trump.
I just remember hearing it on 5 Live, I think transfer deadline day, when West Brom hadn't added to a pretty meagre-looking squad, and people were saying, "Oh, he's out the door." And I think they start the weekend in 7th place.
Yeah.
Terrific
And yet still
effort.
hated by the West Brom fans, isn't he?
I don't know.
Or is he now begrudgingly accepted?
Well, you know what football fans are like. He's probably all right now. But
I think that's a great shout. I'm a big Pulis fan. I think he's terrific. And I think it'd be really interesting if he ever got to manage one of the top 4 teams.
yeah,
Because
it will never happen.
no,
but
it
it would
won't
be very
happen. But
interesting.
do you
yeah.
honestly think he just still parked the bus all the time? I'll tell you what, if he was the Man City manager, they wouldn't have. They'd probably have more points than they
They've scored
would
more
now.
goals than United this year.
Yeah. Okay, Wilco, you used to be the Scottish football correspondent.
Oh,
You're thinking, oh my God,
God.
what's he going to ask me? I think you've retired from Scottish football for 2 years, but you must keep your finger on the pulse up there, don't you? He says, beads of sweat forming on his temple. Which Scottish football team are worth following right now?
Oh, God.
That's done you, hasn't it?
It has. You've stitched me up.
Come on.
And obviously the Premier League is over with Celtic. I mean, things are going well at Aberdeen. They look the best of the rest.
They'll be
So
second,
I'll
yeah?
be suggesting
Keep
that they'll finish
Aberdeen
second.
on side, yeah?
Yeah.
You've
Mark
had a bit-
Walker's Aberdeen as well. He likes
I know.
them.
You've had a bad rap with these questions, actually. Mind
Yeah.
you, I do think with the hard-hitting opinion from the group game, you redeemed yourself in the end. Okay, right, Sean, one for you. If you were a Premier League football, what fancy dress costume would you wear to the Christmas party? Albeit, I don't think they have those Christmas parties anymore when they get absolutely wasted and disgrace themselves dressed as Donald.
Political correctness gone mad.
Well,
It's
quite,
very
yeah.
sad.
In my old guys, I did a few Christmas party cancelled stories in my time. That was
Yeah.
quite always a good one.
Okay, Sean, so let's say you're playing for, I don't know, Everton or whoever, and it all gets sorted out and you're all off to some swanky bar in the Docklands of Liverpool, but it's fancy dress. What are you going to go as?
What am I personally going to go as, or if I was one of these guys, would I go? Like, I mean, I go as the Joker every year, just because it's great crack. Like, and you
Oh,
get
really?
to dress up. Oh, it's just brilliant. Like, and I'm just that guy that there's about 400 of them walking around the city. I'll dress up as the same guy, thinking it's hilarious.
When
And
did you last dress up as the Joker?
Oh, last time, like, I mean, literally 2 months ago, and the year before, and the year before.
Oh, I see.
It's fairly embarrassing.
Have
It's
you
just, I have
actually-
the same green paint.
Have you bought the costume? It's like
Oh,
when
the
I
whole-
have to go to Royal Ascot every year and I think, right, is it worth me actually buying the tails or to still hire it? But you presumably could now, it would be worthwhile investment in an actual Joker costume, wouldn't it?
My whole life was revolved around a lack of effort. So if I can buy something and like actually not go through the process of having to dye anything, I will buy it. Unfortunately, so yeah, I bought the costume.
Oh, really? Where does it stay? At the back of the wardrobe?
Not at all. Forefront of the wardrobe, purple waistcoat. It's perfect. It's great.
So every time you open the wardrobe door to get a nice shirt out for work, there's the Joker costume right in front of you.
Well, right in front of me is about 20 dresses that the girlfriend has taken up half the wardrobe on, like, and then I have the Joker costume, and then I have my few shirts that I'm allowed to take up.
Are you ever
1/10.
tempted just to wear it to work?
Yeah, you should.
Oh, definitely, 100%. Yeah. My last day, if I'm ever got a last day in here, I'll definitely be wearing it straight in.
And what are the possession stats for the wardrobe at the moment? Is it 50-50 or is that central bit, has it been invaded with frocks and all sorts of tops now?
It's an absolute joke. So we got this house and we have 2 rooms in there. She's the entire wardrobe
Of
in
course,
our
you've
room.
only just moved in, haven't you?
Just moved in. I was given the spare wardrobe in the other room. I mean, you couldn't get much more demeaning than that. And I have about 20% of it. I don't even get that whole wardrobe. I've had enough of a rant with her, to be honest, but it feels a lot better to get off my chest again.
Barcelona against Wigan, by the sound of it.
Well, yeah, quite. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, James, which one do you want to tackle?
Just on the subject of fancy dress, my brother's got a brilliant carrot costume, actually, which you don't see very often. So I might borrow that. But to be serious, Champions League, Seville kept 5 clean sheets in 6 group games. Know all about their Europa League pedigree, but I just thought at 50-1 with a fair draw, they could be a bit of interest. Obviously, can't get a Spanish club
Draw
next
Arsenal.
up.
Oh, no,
so,
Arsenal are going to get Real Madrid, aren't they?
or Bayern Munich,
Yeah,
hopefully, yeah. But yeah, I just thought Seville were an interesting price if you want to, try and take on the big guns at the top of the market.
A hard-hitting view delivered with James's usual elegant modesty. Wilco, which one do you want?
Player of the season, please.
Okay.
I'm just delighted with the way that Eden Hazard has managed to pick himself up from the disappointment that he suffered at Chelsea last year and has rediscovered his joie de vivre and is now playing with such dazzling ability.
Yeah, he's looking good, isn't he?
Obviously, you know, something's happened upstairs in his head.
Yeah.
But,
no,
brilliant.
that's a good shout. It's a good shout. Chelsea are likeable now, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're getting there.
They're much less dislikable, aren't they?
I wish I looked as good in a suit as Conte.
Conte, yeah.
Yeah, classy, isn't he?
Yeah, he does look good in a suit. Sean, which one do you want to answer?
Just a quick one there in the Player of the Year. The two lads are actually favourites there, Sanchez and Hazard. So they're both 9-2 joint.
What price is Victor Moses?
Victor Moses is 40-1 shot at the moment.
Oh, I might have a tenner. Carries on like that, mate. Don't worry, he's a runner.
He is playing phenomenal football. I'll take the Champions League one. So I've put up two teams here all season. Atletico were one that I've kind of been chomping at for quite a bit. But I put up Dortmund at the start of this, and I think nothing's kind of changed my opinion. It's only been reinforced by kind of yesterday. Now, I do think that it suited both teams to finish in those positions. I think the draw, looking back, was probably a decent bet there. But Dortmund are looking really good. I mean, look, the league is kind of... It's out. I mean, Bayern, it's like between Bayern and Leipzig, shockingly, but they don't need to worry about the league. Similar to Atletico, not having to worry about La Liga. They're both pretty much out of the race right now. They can focus solely on this competition. And Dortmund are clicking through the gears. Aubameyang up front is, everyone knows about him, he's phenomenal. But Marco Reus is back in this team and he's playing really, really well. And he is key to them. He's massive. If you watch Reus in or out of the Dortmund team in terms of their price movement, it's absolutely gigantic. He's rated one of the best players in Europe. So yeah, basically to get to the point is, I mean, Dutching the two of these right now, Atletico and Dortmund, is still a ton of value. I mean, we're shorter on both again. I mean, 8s and 10s.
Whiz through the show.
I think Barca are still holding favouritism here at 10-3. We've Munich at 7-2. Could not touch them.
I couldn't touch either of them.
No, and they're 4-1 shot to draw each other in the next round, interestingly, which would be great for all other kind of bets. You've Real Madrid at 5-1, who also got a favourable draw, but no Gareth Bale out for a while. And then we've Atletico and Dortmund at 8s and 10s, City at 12s, Juventus at 14s, and Arsenal were movers into 16s, 25s bar those. But nothing wrong, I think, with Atletico and Dortmund. Can't draw each other the next round. I think get a decent draw, which they're likely to do. You're looking at a decent quarter-final, two guys in the quarter-finals, hopefully.
OK, and obviously you're there to promote betting with Paddy Power, but on this occasion you would advise people to look elsewhere because you're deliberately
elsewhere.
short, aren't you?
You'll get 2 or 3 ticks bigger on both.
Great, OK, let's get stuck into the weekend action.
Check out Paddy Power's latest football offer. For all televised Premier League matches this weekend, get a free bet if the team you backed is leading at 60 minutes but fails to win. Max £20, not available in shops. T&Cs apply. 18+. Gambleaware.co.uk.
Welcome back, Bruce Millington, James Milton, Ian Wilkerson, and from Paddy Power, Sean O'Sullivan are looking ahead to the weekend's action, and we're going to start at 12:30 with Watford versus Everton. Everton going through a bit of a slump. They've lost Yannick Bolasie as well. I suppose the slightly encouraging point they took at Man United, but they didn't really deserve it, did they? How are we betting here, Sean?
Yeah, Watford are dogs here. They're 2-1. The draw 12-5, and Everton are 11-8.
OK, and we'll stick with you, Sean. Who's going to win?
I couldn't be touching Everton 11-8. I mean, they're in terrible form. They were so lucky against United. I mean, United weren't great, but they dominated them off the park. How I could go near Everton at any stage. Lukaku doesn't look happy. They're just on a terrible run after their great start. Watford as well. I mean, they haven't been setting the world light. They're pretty inconsistent, but they're generally all right at home. 2-1 looks big to me. I think I'd be siding with them here. I mean, I'll have a small play on the 1-1 draw as well, which is 11-2. I mean, 4 of Everton's last 8 Premier League games have finished 1-1. It's happened in a couple of Watford's last 6 or 7 as well. So I'll probably have a small play in the 11-2, but I'll be getting stuck into Watford at 2-1.
James, what will you be doing?
Yeah, I'm firmly in Sean's camp. I just thought Everton looked far too short. You know, they've won 1 of their last 8 league games. That was against West Ham, who obviously got their own problems. You know, both teams to score, I think, is probably a solid bet. Just looking at the clean sheet records of these two. Watford have kept 3 this season, but they were against Middlesbrough, Swansea and Hull. And Everton have kept 1 in 7 away games. So yeah, certainly opposing Everton, and I quite like the Watford win and both teams to score shouted at 9-2. 2 pretty dodgy defences, but certainly I think Watford are being slightly underrated here.
OK, shades of, was it 84, the cup final? Will Frostron and Andy Gray and Steve Sherwood.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Those were the days, weren't they, Wilco?
Heady days, mate, heady days.
Who's going to win this one?
I've got to echo the sentiments of the boys, really. Everton, yeah, can't have them. They're too short. Poor record at the minute. Lukaku's not, you know, he's not doing it. 2 goals in his last 7 games. You've talked about Bolasie before, how about... you know, how he's a sort of like player, does it 1 week, doesn't perhaps do it the next, and things like that. But he does give him a bit of attacking impetus. He's going to be a bit of a loss.
It'd be a big loss. Don't worry about that. Particularly games like this.
Yeah, Watford, I mean, they stunk the gaff out when they played at home to Stoke the other week. They were terrible. But at home, they've been all right. I mean, got some decent results. They put up good efforts in defeats against Chelsea and Arsenal as well at the beginning of the season. I'll be siding with them, but I think draw no bet's the way to go on this one, and you get a shade of odds against about 11 to 10. I think that's the way forward.
OK, everyone's with Watford at 5:30. It's Leicester City versus Manchester City. Leicester, although they're obviously not doing as well as they were, undefeated in 21 of their last 22 Premier League home games. City won 6 of their last 7 away. And there's been over 2.5 in 6 of Leicester's last 7 games and 6 of City's last 7 games. So there's some stats. Here's what the latest show of betting from Paddy Power is, and Sean O'Sullivan's big match verdict.
Well, of course, I backed Leicester that time when they lost that home game v West Brom. Lumped into them, napped them here. So, yeah, fond memories. They're 7-2 here. The draw 29-10, and City are 3-4. Yeah, I think goals are probably the way to go here. I mean, both teams have scored in Leicester's last 6 Premier League matches. I mean, both teams have scored in 6 of Man City's last 7 Premier League games. I mean, it's happening the whole time with these clubs. They're both a lot stronger going forward and defensively. It's 8-13 though, so there's nothing really much to get excited about. In terms of a goal score, I actually tried to pronounce his name to you before the start of this, Bruce, and I made a hames of it. I'll go again. Incianaco. I mean, I really should learn it, but first goal score 9-2 is gigantic, absolutely huge. He's a goal every 95 minutes for City, and the sample space is large enough now to actually say this guy's the real deal. He looks absolutely like he's really, really hot. He's actually got a better goals from in record than Aguero. I know Aguero's done over a lot longer period of time, but this guy is on a trending kind of mission here where he's going to be serious value when Aguero's not in the team, and he is. And we got 3-4 games to work off it here, and hopefully this is the one where the bookies don't really cop onto it as quick. So we're 9-2 here, first goal, and that's a bet.
Go on, you have a go.
I've been going Iheanacho.
Iheanacho?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a lot better than my effort, yeah.
I'm not confident though.
I still don't think we've absolutely nailed it, but yeah, no. that's all right. Okay, what do you think will happen here, James?
I think it might be time to strap on your betting boots and get stuck into City here, actually. I know,
they're both City.
Sorry.
Great, that's a good
Manchester City. The City you play in blue usually. No, Manchester City. Obviously Aguero out, but Sean's mentioned the lad up front who'll be deputising. They won at Manchester United without Aguero. And just looking at Leicester, I mean, their home form is okay compared to their abject away form. But, their 3 wins came against Burnley, Swansea and your boys Palace, who are out of sorts at the time. And their Champions League midweek, I mean, they rested some key players, obviously. Last season I was underrating how good Leicester were. This week I backed Porto to win 3-0 and 4-0, and obviously they won 5-0. So that was underrating how bad Leicester were. I think it can be a dangerous game to play, particularly when you're on a poor run in the league. Obviously he doesn't want Mahrez or Vardy to get injured, but then you go and lose 5-0, and it's not a great confidence boost for the visit of City. And I just think City, very good away from home, 6 wins out of 7.
So you're just going to go nuts and smash Man City?
I am, yeah.
What are you going to do, Wilco?
Well, I've talked about my misgivings about this Manchester City defence. So I think we'll stick with the Man City to win and both teams to score, 23-10. They've scored 7 goals in the 3 games that Aguero has missed, so I don't think that's going to be an issue at all. And apart from when they lost at Spurs, they scored at least twice in the other 6 away games that they've played. Leicester are capable of breaching their defence, but I don't think they're capable of beating them. I mean, they've been a big disappointment in the league. Like James says, I know they played the reserves in Porto, but losing 5-0 is going to be bad in the camp anyway. I can't see them winning, and I can't see City keeping a clean sheet, so 23-10 appeals to me.
Jolly good. Let's get Saturday's best bets then.
This will not be beaten.
As with golf, it's my honour because I took the winner last week. I can't remember which one it was, but Middlesbrough. Absolutely, good old Middlesbrough. Right, this week I'm very confident. Paddy Power somehow a 6-4 Sunderland, draw no bet at Swansea. That will do for me. What will do for you, James Milton?
I'm going for Cambridge in League 2 to win at Hartlepool. Cambridge improving rapidly, particularly away from home. Won 4 of their last 5 away games. The other one they conceded an injury time equaliser. Thumped Coventry 4-0 in the FA Cup, and things are looking up for them. So
what sort of price are they?
I think they're around 8-5.
Okay, Wilco.
Talking to Coventry, I'll be going for them to lose at Southend. The Essex boys not lost in their last last 8 games, and in League One they've done well against teams who are struggling down the bottom. They've beaten Chesterfield, Milton Keynes and Bury in the last few weeks, and high-flying Bradford. Cov, like James said, got thumped at Cambridge in the Cup. They're having a difficult time down there. They were 11-8 at the beginning of the week. That's gone, but 6-5 still rocks my boat.
Righty-ho, and Sean.
Yeah, I'll go in the first goal scorer market. I'm going to go with Scott Hogan. Brentford are playing Burton at the weekend. Brentford aren't playing well. I've actually backed them for relegation, but they've got a good fixture here. They're at home to Burton, who haven't won away all season. They're a lot better at home than away, Burton. Scott Hogan's one of these boys to watch in the goal scorer markets, especially against a team where they'll be big favourites to get the first goal. He's a goal every 105 minutes for Brentford, which is phenomenal in his career at a kind of a lesser club, so to extent. So you're only 7-2 on him to get the first goal. Looks like a great bet. I'm happy to weigh in on a nap there.
Excellent. Jolly good. Right, thank you, chaps. We've got 3 Sunday Premier League games which we will discuss imminently.
Check out Paddy Power's latest football offer. For all televised Premier League matches this weekend, get a free bet if the team you backed is leading at 60 minutes but fails to win. Max £20, not available in shops. T&Cs apply. 18+. Gambleware.co.uk.
Hi there, it's Bruce Millington, James Milton, Ian Wilkerson, all from the Racing Post and from Paddy Power, Sean O'Sullivan, and we're looking ahead to 3 cracking games in the Premier League on Sunday, starting at 12 o'clock with Chelsea versus West Brom. Both teams in a rare vein of form, both going extremely well. Something's got to give, unless it's a draw. How do Paddy Power bet, Sean?
Yeah, Chelsea are short, their 4 is on. The draw 5-1, and West Brom are 11-1 here.
We'll start with James here. 4's on Chelsea. I mean, I know they're going well, but blimey O'Reilly, that's short, isn't it?
It is. I mean, you look at their recent home games, 3-0 against Leicester, 4-0 against Manchester United, 5-0 against Everton and beating Tottenham 2-1, and then obviously winning at City. You know, people are raving about them. I just think both teams to score is the value here. I mentioned earlier about Tony Pulis' terrific job at West Brom. He's got Chris Brunt, James Morrison, Matt Phillips, all playing well. Nasser Chadley's been on the bench in the last couple of games. I mean, when he first arrived, he looked like the only guy, along with Rondon, who was going to score for them. Huge threat from set pieces, and I just think I think that was about 13-10 or so. I think they can certainly lay a glove on Chelsea. They've scored in 5 of their last 6 games against them. And last season's games were 2-2 and a 3-2 Chelsea win. So, yeah, I'm expecting an exciting game here.
God, that sounds a very convincing case. What do you think that, Wilco?
Of Chelsea 1-4, you know, it is a bit of a short price. West Brom have done pretty well at the Bridge. In the last 5 games, Chelsea have only won once by more than 1 goal against the Baggies. Like James said, I think set pieces are going to go big. So I'm going to have a bit of a stab on the first goal scorer and go for Gary Cahill, which was very unfortunate when I backed him to score the first goal last Saturday against Manchester City, because, of course, he did score the first goal, but it was in the wrong net.
Oh. Well, I don't think that's remotely unlucky, is it?
It's close.
From the position he was in when it went into his own net, it was never going to the City net, was it?
I did see someone, I think someone did describe it, it might have been Garth Crooks on the BBC, describing it as a good finish. But there you go.
That's Garth
Cahill,
Crooks.
anyway, Cahill, he scored twice in the League Cup for Chelsea this year, and he scored in the win against United. Set pieces are going to be key in this game, and he is capable of getting one. 25-1 each way, worth a bit of a poker.
That sounds a good shout if you fancy a small bet and a chance of a big win. Sean O'Sullivan, what's your view of this game?
Well, if you kind of have a winning method, I don't really feel like changing it, so I'll stick with it. Me and Lango have been kind of using it quite a bit over the last few weeks, so I think just touching the 2 lads again, Costa and Hazard. It's evens this week, it's a lot shorter, but when you actually look at it on the face of it, that may sound short, but Chelsea are 4s on to actually score the first goal in this game, so you're boosting a 4s on shot to evens with the fact it's Costa or Hazard. I mean, throw in Cahill as well if you'd like, and you can make it pretty much a 10-11 shot, just to have that little bonus on side. I mean, the 3 of those, Dutching them, one of them to get the first, I'd much rather back that than the 4s on Chelsea to win the match.
Can you Dutch 3 things, or is it just 2 things?
No, you can. I don't know. You can. Trutch. I don't even know what
Trutch. No, I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure. I presume it came from double Dutch, did it? I don't know.
Going Dutch?
Oh, of course it is. Yeah. And you don't go Dutch, do you?
No, I think you only do it on a date, really, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, we're in dodgy ground now, aren't we?
Well, only because you'd be too tight to go Dutch, wouldn't you? You'd let her pay Wilco.
Not usually an issue, mate.
Right. 2:15, the game of the weekend, I'd say. Man United versus Tottenham. Really, really fascinating one, this. I thought Tottenham, he picked a very strong side, didn't he, against CSK? But, they did it absolutely. They did it really well. Harry Kane's back. Man United signs of revival as well. So this is a really competitive, interesting game. And Sean, how does your company bet on it?
United are 23-20, the draw 12-5, and Spurs are 5-2 to win the game.
Right, I'm going to say that I think Spurs are value at 5-2. I'm not going to elaborate. I just think it's a big price. James, what do you think will happen?
I've got written down Tottenham draw no bet, but also I just think the draw is such an eye-catching price. I mean, United have had 6 draws in 8 games, ranging from the very frustrating the 0-0 against Burnley to the very encouraging the game against Arsenal when Arsenal
were desperately lucky.
Absolutely
they were
hopeless.
Desperately lucky. Yeah.
And somehow managed to nick something. So, but yeah, I just think Tottenham, with the injuries they've had this season and the kind of increased expectations, I think their results have been really impressive. They've maybe not been as fluent as they might be, but I think that's coming. Still only lost 1 game in the league this season. That was Chelsea away.
And they played really well for the first hour of that game, didn't they?
Absolutely. So I think they really are kind of equipped for these big games away from home now. And I think Alderweireld is back. I think he came on as sub. Kane has scored 7 goals in 6 games since he came back, which is a great effort. I think they can definitely hold United. So I like the look of the draw at 12-5.
Draw, okay. I'll tell you one thing as well with Tottenham. What price are you Tottenham for the title, Sean? Can you remember off the top of your head? I would say this. If you've had a bet on the title this season, I think now you should definitely at least save your stake with Spurs. I honestly do. I know you're a Tottenham fan, Wilco, and you're looking at me like all Tottenham fans do. Are you mad? We never win anything. But I absolutely think it's a progressive team. There's a deeper squad. I think they are going to be big players in the title race this year. Anyway, back to...
They're 16s, Bruce, by the way.
16s, yeah. Well, you're quite short there. I think there's 20s or 22s elsewhere, so I would definitely nibble at that. Wilco, what will happen when Man U and Spurs lock horns on Sunday afternoon?
I fancy Spurs. I went to Wembley on Wednesday, and CSK weren't up to much, but they murdered them. They could have won 6 or 7. They gave away a stupid goal, which has been their one in the Champions League this year. They could have got through that group with a little bit more luck against Leverkusen at the game at Wembley. They're really playing well. Eriksen has found his form. I don't know where it's come from. He was brilliant last night. Fantastic. Alderweireld coming back is such a massive boost for them. I mean, apart from perhaps Lloris, he is their best player. And to have him back at the centre, to have lost only 1 game with him being out for these 3 or 4 weeks is a massive plus. I just think Spurs are a team and they play as a squad. They play all the right bits fit the right holes, whereas United are the complete opposite of that. They've got all these talented players, and Mourinho hasn't got a clue what to do with them. So they seem to be just bung on the pitch, and they don't know no one seems to know how everybody fits in and things like that. They look disjointed. They've had some decent results. They've also most of them are flying out to Ukraine, and whether you play or not, it's still a decent flight back to come back 3 days later. I know these are footballers; they do it every week and all that, but it's still a long way to go. I think Spurs, I think they're a cracking price at 5-2.
Okay, you're hearing a lot of Spurs vibes from London. What's your view over there in Dublin, Sean O'Sullivan?
Yeah, I'd be the exact same. Yeah, I'd be on Spurs or the draw here. I mean, if I'm backing one of the two, I'm probably siding with the draw, but I couldn't be touching United. United's last 3 Premier League games have actually ended 1-1. This game just looks to me like it's just primed for that kind of score again, like a 1-1, maybe a 0-0. 1-1's 11-2. I think I'll probably have a small enough bet on that, but I just couldn't be touching United. They have a lot of possession at the moment in all these games, but there's just no cutting edge. Something's septically wrong with that club at the moment. They just don't seem to be able to turn the corner at all. Every time they make any bit of momentum, they're stalled. I mean, Spurs aren't any great shakes here either at the moment. They should be doing a lot better this season, I think. They had a settlement from last year to push on a bit this year, and they haven't. But I mean, saying that they're 6 points ahead of United in the league, they're probably the better team at the moment. So I think I'd be siding with Spurs or possibly the 1-1 draw at 11-2.
Okay, in the 4:30 game, Liverpool versus West Ham, I should think Liverpool are extremely short. Are they not, Sean?
Yeah, they're 1-3. I often want to say 1-3 shots value, but I think 1-3 here looks even slightly big. The draw is 9-2, and West Ham are 15-2 to win the game.
Okay.
You wouldn't have them bigger to beat West Ham than Chelsea to beat West Brom,
I was just going to say that, Wilco. I'm looking at 1-4 Chelsea or 1-3 Liverpool. I mean, I'm never in a rush to back any team at those sort of prices, but for me, it'd have to be Liverpool. Let's see what James Milton thinks.
Yeah, I mean, there just have to be goals in this game, don't they? Looking at West Ham's results this season, they've had a couple of 4-2 defeats. Obviously lost 5-1 against Arsenal last weekend. They lost 3-2 at Tottenham, 3-1 at Man City, 4-1 against Manchester United in the League Cup. Liverpool have handed out some tonkings to teams at Anfield as well. Unfortunately, those shrewd bookies have noticed this trend as well. It's not just me. Over 4.5 goals is 9-4, which is very short. So I'm looking at the correct score market. I think 3-1, 4-1 Liverpool sounds about right. That's not very scientific of me, but you know that Liverpool's record of winning and conceding is incredible. And West Ham do have a goal threat in them, but I just think that defence is going to be blown away, really.
Okay, a couple of correct scores, hopefully juicy prices for James. What do you think, Ian Wilkerson?
Well, West Ham were an absolute shower against Arsenal. It was. I mean, they had injuries, but they threw it in. They never looked like competing. Arsenal never got out of second gear. They could have had a dozen goals. Big problems at West Ham. We'll see this game how much they actually want to play for Bilic, because if they get thumped, he could be in big trouble.
It's very odd, this. I did not see this coming. I really, really didn't. I thought I had a great season last year. I thought going into the new stadium might help, but it's just... It's a big loss. Have been worse,
Tompkins going to your boys was a bad move for them.
You can't blame it on James Tompkins. I mean, James Tompkins is a decent enough player, but he's not...
But they didn't reinforce their defence, did they?
Season, is it? You know.
But, anyway, we could sit here all day talking about the problems about West Ham. We
can't, because I've got a meeting in a minute.
Well... When Sunderland went to Anfield the other week, they sort of held pretty firm, and Liverpool needed a couple of goals in the last 10 minutes to beat them. I can't see West Ham showing that sort of resistance, so I'll be taking a 5-6, Liverpool, half-time, full-time.
Sean O'Sullivan, what do you think?
Yeah, I have Liverpool -2 down here, 21-10. Yeah, I think they'll...
Is that an Asian handicap?
No, that's just straight up. They got to win by 3.
They've got to win by 3.
They got to win 3 or more. But I think they'll hammer them here. I mean, in their last 11 games, I think 5 of them they've actually scored 4 more goals at home. Liverpool, so they're well used to getting those. That's more like a 5-4 shot.
19 in 5 home games.
Yeah, I mean it's phenomenal, the record they have there. They've only been beaten. I think the last time they got beaten at Anfield in the league was probably January, way back against United. So I mean, they're phenomenal at home. West Ham are just a sinking ship at the moment. Bilic is 15-8 with us to be the next manager to go. At the moment, it looks like it's a 3-way heat between him, Bradley, and Pardew. How quickly it's gone wrong for him it's pretty incredible. He's a likeable guy, so it's a pity. But all the talk is he could be getting the bullet by the end of the year.
Very strange. Although, funny enough, with Sullivan and Gold have generally been pretty loyal with their managers down the years, you know.
Dreaded vote of confidence, though.
More than you'd think.
Ago, so.
I don't think they've ever faced the hostility that they have from their customers at any of their clubs that they're having it right now.
I don't think the fans are blaming Bilic particularly, are they? Or have I misread that?
No, I don't think that, but they will turn... If they're blaming Gold and Sullivan and Karen Brady, then the first thing that chairman does when people start blaming him is they sack the manager.
That's fair enough. Let's get a first scorer Yankee together between us, shall we, chaps? So, Sean, you're the first scorer king. You've got Scott Hogan of Brentford, haven't you? He'll be the cornerstone.
I'll stick with him, yeah.
OK, well, you can do 2 because you're so good. Give me another one.
Cool, I'll go to Chinako as well there for Man City. Had to say him again.
Chinako, I think that's the best pronunciation I've heard on this entire broadcast. So we've got Scott Hogan, we've got Ichinako, which was a shit pronunciation. Wilco, who's your first scorer?
Costa. He was brilliant against City. He'll score the first goal against
That was like one of those blind passes when I passed to you and said Wilco.
I read the dummy.
Yeah. And James?
I'm still picking myself up off the floor after that one. But I'm going to chuck in Adam Lallana. Hopefully he'll get a start for Liverpool against West Ham. Scored 6 goals this season for club and country, and I think Paddy Power is still offering a very juicy 8-1, which is
that does sound
the
big,
best in the village.
OK, let's ask a really mainstream question. All ready for Christmas?
I am actually, yeah. I like to chip away at my Christmas present buying. So
when did you buy your first present?
Probably mid-November, but yeah, I've been doing some good elf work.
Is this your second Christmas as a daddy?
It is, yeah.
Oh, yeah. How lovely. Wilco?
No.
OK.
I had. Usually I have the week off before Christmas, and this year I'm having the week after off.
Oh, Christ.
So
what's
I'm all discombobulated.
What's she asking for?
The moon on a stick.
What, is she 10 now?
She is nearly 12. She's 12 Cheltenham week.
They grow up so quick, don't they?
Oh, don't they just?
Okay. And Sean, you've just moved house. You sound like you're quite sort of chaotic off the field as well.
Stressed,
are you ready for Christmas?
No, not at all. She set a curfew yesterday, which was great, though, or a limit of £100, which means Michael Van Gerwen is getting steamed into way more for the World Championship. So that's great news, really.
You and Steve Palmer both.
All in. World's greatest human.
Excellent. Jolly good. Thank you very much, chaps. Thank you for listening. Don't forget, we are on iTunes, so if you like us, please go on there, subscribe and rate us. We're back next Thursday with another Racing Post Football Postcast.
the Football Postcast in association with Paddy Power. Their new iPhone app is simpler than a Tim Sherwood Team Talk, so download it now.